Hey yogis, welcome to my channel. My name is Veronica for those of you who don't know me yet. And this is going to be a quick class for shoulders and upper body strength. So I will just say that some of these poses may be a little bit challenging, so please modify as you need to and work your way up towards being able to get into the complete pose that is offered. You shouldn't need any props for this class, so let's go ahead and get started. We're just going to start off like I'm sitting here in a kneeling position. You can sit up on top of a block, however, if this feels uncomfortable, or sit in a different kind of seated position. So we're just sitting on top of our heels. Also, if this is too much pressure for your knees, you can place a blanket or a pillow in between your calves and your thighs. So just bring your hands to your thighs and sit up nice and tall. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Go ahead and close your eyes. And let's start with a big breath in together. And go ahead and just take a few breaths here to get settled into your body. And just begin paying attention to your breath in and out of your nose. Let's take one more big breath here. Inhale. Exhale it out. And when you're ready, begin to draw a few circles with your shoulders. Inhaling as you take your shoulders up towards your ears, and exhaling as you take them back down. And you can go ahead and change direction. Continuing with your breath. And slowly come to stillness. Take your arms out to a T position, palms pointing down towards the floor. Draw your navel in to lift up through the crown of your head, lengthening your spine, supporting your lower back. And just begin to take a few circles with your arms, starting off small, going at a pace that feels right for you. And keep drawing the navel in. And gradually make those circles a little bit larger. Continue to breathe. And then we'll change direction. So starting off once again with those smaller circles. And keep lifting and lengthening your spine. And gradually make those circles a little bit larger. And slowly come to stillness. Bring your arms back out to that T, palms still pointing down. Take a big breath in. On your exhale, bring your forearms, elbows, and palms together in front of you. Elbows in line with your shoulders. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Inhale as you open out into a cactus shape, and then extend your arms back out. We'll continue like this a few more times on your own breath, drawing your forearms together, taking your arms out to that cactus shape, and then extending back out. Using your breath to guide your movement. Maybe going a little bit quicker now. And go ahead and take one more. And then the next time you're back in that cactus shape, squeeze your shoulder blades together. And exhale, release. Keep your arms in this cactus shape and then take your palms down towards the floor, so spinning your elbows back. Inhale, take your hands back up towards the ceiling, draw your elbows forward. And then we'll continue for a few more at your own pace. Continue to breathe, just exploring the range of motion you have in your shoulders. And keep drawing the navel in, lifting up through your spine. We'll take just a few more. And then exhale, release, shake your arms out. When you're ready, we'll meet in a tabletop position, stacking shoulders above wrists and hips above knees. We're going to start off just by stretching the wrists a little bit here. So walk your hands out so that your fingertips are pointing towards the long sides of your mat. And we'll start to draw circles over the wrists. Continuing with your breath. Making those circles as small or as large as you'd like to. And just going at a pace that feels right. And go ahead and change directions. And continue to breathe. And slowly come back into a neutral position. Continue walking your hands back so that now your fingertips are pointing towards your knees. Gently send your hips back towards your heels, so getting a little bit of a stretch through the wrists. You're probably not going to go very far here. You'll start to feel it right away. And then inhale, come forward. And we're just going to begin to pulse back and forth. Nice controlled pace. Continue to breathe. And then either continue with this motion here, or as you take your hips back over your heels, lift the heel of your palm and bend your elbows slightly. And then come back forward. So continue with either variation. And take one more. Come back into that neutral position. We'll keep the fingertips pointing towards the knees, but flip your right palm over. And then once again, take the hips back over your heels. And then flipping over to the other side. Flip your right palm back over. Flip your left palm over. Fingertips still pointing towards the knees. Take your hips back towards your heels. Continue to breathe. And then flip your left palm back over. Walk your hands back so your fingertips are pointing towards the top of your mat. Come back into a seat on top of your heels. Shake out your wrists. And then from here, extend your arms out in front of you. Draw your shoulders back. Make a fist with your hands, and we're just going to begin to open and close the hands. So you'll start to feel this in your wrists and forearms. And continue opening and closing your fists, and then take your arms out to the side. As we did before, draw your navel in, keep lifting up through the crown of your head. Continue opening and closing your wrists and take your arms up overhead. Bring your arms back in front of you. We'll move a little bit faster, so opening and closing the wrists just a little bit faster. And take your arms out to the side. And back up towards the ceiling. And back in front of you. And then slowly shake it out. Rest here if you need to. And whenever you're ready, make your way back into that tabletop position. So knees, hips width apart, shoulders stacked above your wrists. We're going to take a few scapular push-ups here. So these are not like regular push-ups where we bend the elbows. Instead, what we're going to do is just isolate that motion to the shoulder blade area. So I'm going to drop my chest, really kind of squeezing the shoulder blades together, and then press into the hands, create more of a dome-like shape in the upper body. I'm just going to continue through those at my own pace. I'm just taking a few and breathing into it. And for a little more intensity, you can always come into a plank pose and take this from plank. But don't worry, we're going to have plenty of plank poses in this class, so if you'd like, you can take it easy now. And then slowly come to stillness. Extend your right leg behind you, toes pointing down towards the floor. Press out through your heel. Draw your navel in to once again support your lower back from collapsing. On your inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down in chaturanga. So keeping the elbows in close towards your ribs, chin towards the floor. Inhale, press up. Exhale, take your knee in towards your nose. Round your back. Inhale, extend back out, shift forward. Exhale, bending your elbows, chin towards the floor. Inhale, press up. Exhale, knee towards nose, round your back. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower. Inhale, press up. Exhale, knee towards nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower. Nice and controlled movements here. Inhale, press up. Exhale, knee towards nose. Inhale, extend back out. And then lower your right knee down. We'll take it over to the other side. Extend your left leg behind you, toes pointing down. The foot can be hovering above the floor, just a couple inches. So you have the foot in line with your left hip. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, bend your elbows, lower your chin towards the mat. Inhale, press up. Exhale, knee towards nose, round your back. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, knee towards nose. Inhale, extend. Exhale, lower, chin towards the floor. Inhale, press up. Exhale, knee towards nose. Inhale, extend, last one. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise back up. Exhale, knee towards nose. Inhale, extend back out. And then release your left leg down. Take a rest in child's pose. Bring your hips over your heels. Lower your forehead to the mat. Just take your arms by your side, palms pointing up. And releasing the wrists. Take a breath in. Exhale it out. And whenever you're ready, slowly make your way back up into that tabletop position. And then walk your hands forward about a handprint, still keeping the hands in line with your shoulders. Extend your right leg behind you. Press back through the heel. So ball of the foot is on the ground this time. We're going to press up into plank pose. So then extend your left leg behind you. Press out through your heel. Draw your navel in, tuck your tailbone, and then slightly bend your elbows so they come outwards a little bit. Spin your outer upper arms in towards your center, so creating just a little more space in your collarbone and your shoulder blade area. Take a big breath in, exhale it out. We're going to come into side plank, slowly roll over onto your left side. If it's available to you, stack your right leg on top of your left. Press down into the floor. Inhale as you reach your right arm up. Keep your left shoulder stacked above your wrist as much as you can. And see if you can hold this for as long as you can. If you absolutely need to, you can lower your left knee down until you build up the strength to sustain this for a little bit longer. Keep pressing down to lift your hips up. Exhale, release your right hand down, come back into your plank. Roll over onto your right side, coming into your side plank. Left leg can stack on top of your right, left arm reaches up towards the ceiling. Really press down to lift your hips. Once again, if you need to modify, you can lower your bottom knee down to the mat. And exhale, release your left hand back down in front, coming into your plank once again. Inhale as you shift forward. Exhale, chaturanga, lower all the way down onto your belly. Untuck your toes. Press down into your hands. Draw your elbows in close towards your ribs as you press up into cobra. Inhale, lifting your chest. Begin to lengthen your arms. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Exhale. Take your hips up. Keep your knees on the ground. We're going to come into puppy pose. Lower your chest and forehead down. Walk your hands forward. And then come onto the outer edges of your hands. So thumbs pointing up towards the ceiling. We'll move through a few cat-cow motions here. So it's going to be a very subtle movement in this position. On your inhale, round your upper back. Exhale, arch your spine, melt your heart down towards the mat. And just continue for a few more at your own pace. Really trying to keep this motion isolated to your upper back. And then slowly come to stillness. Lower your palms down, melt your heart down. We'll hold this for a little bit longer. Energetically draw your armpits in towards each other, feeling just a little more opening through your upper back and maybe even into the neck. Continue to breathe. And take one more breath here. And then slowly begin to walk your hands back. We'll press up into downward facing dog. Untuck your toes. Send your hips up towards the ceiling. Lengthen your spine, drawing your chest towards your thighs. And keep a bend in your knees if you have really tight hamstrings here. You might even walk out your dog and just bend one knee and then the other. And take a few breaths. And slowly come to stillness in your down dog. On your inhale, lift your heels, send your weight forward into your hands, coming into your plank. Exhale, send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Let's move through a few of those. So inhale, coming into plank. Exhale, take it back. Inhale and exhale. And a few more. And then make your way back into your downward facing dog. Walk your hands towards your feet, coming into forward fold. You can have your knees bent here if you need to. Take a rag doll, grab onto opposite elbows, release your neck, release your shoulders. So we'll take a little bit of the weight off of the shoulders now as we open up through the hamstrings for our next posture. Begin to shift the weight forward into the ball of the foot, and then ground down through the outer edges of your feet. And lastly, root down through the outer heel. So you start to feel the inner thighs engage. And maybe get a little more release in the upper body as you firm up your base. And let's take one more breath here. Release your hands down to the floor. Walk your hands back to the top of your mat, coming into your downward facing dog. We're going to take a turbo dog, which is kind of a funky variation of downward dog, kind of moving into dolphin pose. So if this feels like too much for you right now, just stay in your down dog and work the shoulders and the hamstrings here. If you're going to go for the turbo dog, make sure your index fingers are pointing forward, and then slightly bend your elbows, spinning your outer upper arms in towards the center. And from here, we're going to start to lower the elbows down towards the mat, just hovering a few inches off the mat. And then inhale, press back up. We'll take a few more of these. And for just a little more intensity, you can even walk your feet in just a little bit closer towards your hands. So just continue at your own pace. Let's take one more, and this time release your forearms all the way down, coming into your dolphin pose. You can have your knees bent here if you need to. Press down through your forearms. Draw your heels back. And then bring all the weight into your left forearm. Come up onto your right fingertips, taking that hand out, kind of off the mat, bending your elbow. On your inhale, extend your right leg up behind you, bend your knee, open your hip. Press down through the left forearm. Inhale and exhale. Exhale, release your right foot down. Come back onto your right forearm. Press down. Take your left fingers out to the side, pressing into the floor, bending your elbow. Ground down through your right leg. Inhale, extend your left leg up. Exhale as you open your hip, bend your knee. Keep pressing down through your right forearm, spinning your outer upper arm in towards your center to integrate your shoulder. And breathe. Exhale, release your left leg back down. Come back onto your left forearm. We'll stay in dolphin for just a little bit longer. If you need to, you can always come down onto your knees. On your next inhale, lift your heels, begin to roll through the ball of the foot, bringing more of your weight into your shoulders. And then exhale, take your heels back. We'll move through a few of those. So when you take your heels off the ground and send your weight forward, you're getting your shoulders a bit more over your elbows. Continue to breathe into it. And take your heels back. Exhale, release your knees down. Finally, walk your hands forward. Come onto your belly, coming into Spinks Pose. Shoulders stacked above your elbows. Press down through your forearms. Press your pubic bone down. Take your heart through your arms, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Let's take one more breath here. We have just a little bit more work to do on that upper body strength, and then we'll take it into some stretches for the shoulders. So pressing down into your forearms, we're going to come into a forearm plank. Untuck your toes. Lift your belly off the mat. Tuck your tailbone. Press into your forearms. Draw your navel in. Press out through your heels. And we'll roll into side forearm plank. So roll over onto your left side. Lower the left outer edge of your foot down and the inner edge of your right foot down. Either stay here or stack your right foot on top of your left. Reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Press firmly into the bottom forearm to lift your hips. And exhale, release your right hand back down, coming back into your forearm plank. Roll your left hip on top of your right. Reach your left arm up towards the ceiling. Keep pressing down to lift your hips. And exhale, release your left hand back down, coming back into your forearm plank. Exhale, release your hips down, coming back into your Sphinx. Once again, take your chest through your arms. Breathe. You made it through the hard part. We're going to stretch now. So from here, take your left arm, cross it over your right, coming onto your fingertips. Take your right hand, walk it all the way over to the left. You're going to lower all the way down, resting your arms. You can rest your chin on your top arm. And if this feels really uncomfortable here, you can always roll up a blanket and place it underneath your chest. And release your glutes, and release your legs. And slowly come up onto your fingertips, lifting yourself back up. We'll swap the arms, so this time your left arm will come underneath, your right arm will be on top. Walk your hands out as far as you can, and then lower down onto your chest. Chin can rest on top of your top arm. And come back up onto your fingertips. Slowly walk your hands back in, uncrossing your arms. Make a little pillow with your hands. Take your elbows out wide. And just let yourself release here for a moment. Beginning to calm your breath. When you're ready, take your left arm out to the side, keeping it in line with your shoulder. Come up onto your right fingertips underneath your elbow, and then roll your right hip on top of your left. You can bend your knees here, and this could be enough for you, or you can straighten your left leg and take your right leg behind you for just a little more intensity. Also option to take your right arm behind you and just let it drape behind your back wherever it wants to fall naturally, or you can interlace your fingers and just making sure that your left arm stays in line with that shoulder. You can also rest your head on top of a pillow or a block if this is too intense for your neck. Gently release back onto your belly. If you have your arms interlaced, you can release your arms and make a little pillow with your hands once again. Maybe just swaying your hips from side to side to release your lower back. And then from here, extend your right arm out to the side, palm pointing down. Come up onto your left fingertips. Roll your left hip on top of your right, bending your knees. An option to take your left arm behind you. And then you might extend your right leg and take your left leg behind you as well. And lastly, option to interlace your hands. If you can keep your right hand or your right arm in line with your shoulder. Once again, you can support your head and neck with a pillow or a block. Now, wherever you're at, gently release back down onto your belly. Once more, making a little pillow with your hands. Let your forehead rest. Sway your hips from side to side to release your lower back. Now, whenever you're ready, make your way onto your back, coming into your Shavasana, final resting pose. And take a moment to make yourself comfortable here. Extend your legs out in front of you, let your knees knock out to the side. Arms can come by your side, palms pointing up. And slowly begin to soften your breath. Allow yourself to melt into this shape, into the mat. Staying here in this present moment, your body, for just a few more minutes. Feel free to stay here for longer if you'd like. And if you're ready to close your practice, just begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe stretch your arms up overhead like you're waking up in the morning. And then curl over onto your right side, curling up into a fetal position. And whenever you're ready, make your way up into a seat. Bringing your hands together in front of your heart. Taking a moment to notice the effects of this practice on your body and your mind. We'll close this practice with a big breath together. Inhale. Exhale it out. And bring your hands to your third eye center, bringing gratitude to this practice. Thanks so much for joining me. Namaste. I really hope you enjoyed this class and you found a little bit more strength and opening in your shoulder and upper body area. If you feel inspired, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. This will help me to keep putting out free classes for you to enjoy. And also, please feel free to put a comment below letting me know how you enjoyed this class or just letting me know what other topics you might be interested in. So thanks again so much for joining me and have a wonderful day.